Talk. Talk. Talk to me Tuesday.
Hey there, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday on a Tuesday. I'm your host, Madi B. And today we're going to have a special show. Not only are you guys here to see who the winner is for heroic behavior, but we're also going to give you an amazing opportunity for some of you guys that are watching, or even for some of your family members. Last year was a tough year. A year and a half ago, it's crazy that we're saying this already, but a lot of people got furloughed. A lot of people got let go. A lot of people had to change and pivot their job and career opportunities. So today we're going to talk about just that, the career opportunities in the industry, not just in this industry, but also in our office and place of business. So that way you guys could see how you can also take advantage of this. So today I have the pleasure of having our very own Lorne, who is here from D. Miller & Associates, PLLC, HR Administrative Assistant. Welcome.
Hello, Madi. How are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you for asking. We're so excited to have you here.
Thank
you are Human Resource Administrative Assistant. And I think that's great because we're going to get some great insight from you. And look, in our show, Lorne, I don't know if you watched our show before, but we like to get transparent on some of the real matters that happen. So that way those viewers that are watching can be a step ahead. So I just want to start off with introducing yourself, a little bit about yourself, and most importantly, how long have you been with the company, D. Miller & Associates?
Awesome. So again, my name is Lorne Patterson. I've been with D. Miller & Associates for about a year now. I got hired in the middle of the pandemic. Again, as Madi, you've already stated, it was a tough time for everyone. Everyone hit patches. Everyone had to make some adjustments. But fortunately enough, D. Miller & Associates, we were able to keep going. So it's been a blessing. It's been a blessing since I've started.
Yeah, that is a blessing. Look, not all companies have the luxury to say that. Some had to adjust and get with the times because the times were no longer traditional. It was abnormal from your home through this device, right?
Right.
So today, that's what we're going to be talking about, is the career opportunity for this company. I know you've kind of came up with an amazing campaign, and you want to share it to our viewers, and what a better platform to do that. So Let's start off with telling us a little bit more about the company that you represent, and who are you here basically talking about a career opportunity for?
Awesome. So again, I work in our Human Resources Department with D. Miller & Associates. My main responsibility is, again, recruiting, hiring, really working with our department management team to really explore avenues that we can bring to our local community. And again, even those outside of Houston, Texas, right? So since I've come on board, my responsibility has really been to assess what has been going on in the workforce. What are people looking for? What type of opportunities do people really want? And so D. Miller, and again, I say it's a blessing because we work for an amazing owner and an amazing company that has said, I really want to find a way to be unique in how we can really interact with the community and bring them an opportunity to say, hey, I've never worked in the legal field before, but I have amazing skills and amazing talents that I can bring to your company. And we welcome it all.
Wow, I love it. I love everything that it stands for, and I cannot wait to just kind of keep picking your brain on the research that you've done in regards to the workforce. With the field, this is a law firm entity, right? So within that field and even outside the field, of things that you've noticed. So I kind of want you to talk about, it's been tough, for many businesses from all industries, from grocery stores to restaurants to doctors, attorneys, everything. So tell us about the career opportunities that you have seen in the last year and a half, or even that you have not seen.
Mm-hmm. So I think many people can agree that people had to make industry changes. Me, myself, I came from a logistics and transportation company, and there's always this common ideology that the bigger the company, the more success, the more staff members, the more opportunities. And so for me, in the middle of the pandemic, I really had to ask myself, was I really satisfied? Was I really fulfilled? Was punching the clock just enough? And so D. Miller and Associates gave me the opportunity to say, Lorne, you have a plethora of skills that are being untouched. We have so many opportunities to really not only take those skills, but maximize them, but then we can also pour back into you and help you fine tune them and really explore you to other areas. So I think with D. Miller, we experience hurdles just like everyone else. No company was left untouched because of COVID. COVID really required that everyone have a face mask, everyone have 6 feet of social distancing in between. And Madi, as a law firm, we're very people to people. We're very person to person. We thrive off of face-to-face interactions. So with our firm, we were still able to go remote. I particularly was not a fan of Zoom. I know that's probably a bad thing, but I think D. Miller also reminded me that being innovative and being creative, it does take work and it takes adjustment. So for our firm, we've opened up opportunities for individuals to be remote data entry employees, remote case managers. Again, our clients' needs don't stop because a pandemic has pretty much taken over. We've been able to be very creative. And even now, we're looking at even more opportunities to say, we know that there's a growing, a growing group of unemployment, individuals that fall under that spectrum. So we're trying to find more ways to really meet that need of, okay, you're looking for an opportunity. How can we bring that opportunity to your door so that it's convenient and you still feel fulfilled?
Wow. Yeah, that's great information. And like you said, the workforce may have changed, but business doesn't change, right? Especially for us, we still continue to get cases and still have a need. I think the more people were available at their house, the more they were available to do research and really get to contact us. So yes, the need did not change. So I want you to talk about how this company has changed in the past year from when you got hired to what we're talking right now, which is crazy to say, but we're almost in July of 2021. Tell me a little bit about how the company has changed.
Well, as we stated earlier, I was hired in the middle of the pandemic, so my first day was a remote day. Again, for me, I was accustomed to, showing up to an office, the HR management team would really meet with you in person, take you on a tour of the building, really let you meet your teams. It was different for me. I met my manager via Zoom before I met her in person. I learned my training through a camera versus, sitting side by side with someone. So D. Miller really had to, again, stay current, stay relevant, and be able to move along with the current, pretty much environment of the workforce. But as we've been able to kind of move forward with updates from, the government, updates from our local and state officials, we've been able to bring some of our employees back in office. But again, we still had to keep up with the fact that some of our clients cannot come in office. So some of our case managers, some of our intake specialists, they still work from home. They still make those calls. They're still touching base as much as needed. And I think D. Miller, again, the main thing that I think we pride ourselves most on is that we've kept it client-centered. We always care about our employees. We always make sure that they're safe, but we also take the time to say, is this going to be feasible for our client? Can our client really get out to this place, really go to this place? And so we've really gone the extra mile to make sure that not only do we open up opportunities for other candidates that are looking for jobs, but also for clients that still need our services that might have been impacted by COVID more than the next person.
Wow. So look, one thing that you did mention, and you actually mentioned it a little bit earlier, you're like, I wasn't a fan of Zoom. I don't think the world was a fan of having a camera in front of you 24/7, right? And just doing your day-to-day 9 to 5, 8 to 5 job. Correct. So now look, there's no excuse. Everyone's camera ready, right? Whether it's just from the waist and up, we are all camera ready, which is good. So there's a lot of great things that came with this change. Not just that, you were able to work from home where you were safe and still be able to help and still be able to move cases in our instance. Not everyone had the luxury of that, right? Correct. Certain industries like restaurants, you can't work from home, right? So some people were really in a pickle. Correct. So, since people have been furloughed, let go, or some companies, let's be honest, I hate to say this, just didn't make it through the pandemic. And so there's people that actually just had to get laid off due to that. So due to the pandemic and everything that you kind of saw, experienced personally and business, has it been easy for you guys to hire individuals during the pandemic?
For me personally, I think that our HR department, again, we've tried to be very innovative and creative with our recruitment process. We just had a job fair in May. So again, we're still trying to be as impactful and as, again, unique as possible, because COVID is an uncharted experience for a lot of people. There was no handbook ahead of time that said, hey, if you go through a pandemic, switch all of your hiring to virtual, switch all of your work. There was no handbook. So for us, not only did we get creative with the way in which we allowed people to meet us, we got creative in the actual requirements for some of the, qualifications for some of our roles. Again, most people would assume to work for a law firm, you have to have years of legal experience, years of credentials. And it's not that that doesn't matter to us. It's just that we were more so concerned about the actual cultural fit, the values of the candidates as well. So again, we know that there are people who unfortunately were furloughed for the full year of 2020. I know, Madi, for us, we've been able to keep going. But I always have to ask myself, Lorne, can you imagine being without work and wanting to work for a full year? So as D. Miller, I think we took on the mindset of, we're not going to penalize someone for that. We know that everyone faced a different experience with COVID. So when it comes to interviewing, when it comes to work history and experience, we take all that into consideration, because we understand that there are plenty of diamonds in the rough, plenty of gems just waiting to be discovered. But again, part of it is individuals have to really have that support to feel like, hey, this company is willing to take a chance and interview me, virtually or in person. Phone interviews are still live and well. So I think for our firm, we really took on the perspective that we want to meet as many qualified candidates as possible. Whatever circumstance you're in, we're definitely going to listen. We're going to take all that into consideration. But ultimately, the goal is to continue to build a brand that welcomes all people, that truly values inclusion, and really says a pandemic really can't stop what's just always meant to be there. So we're really taking that attitude with everyone.
And look, that's a great point, because I think we've all had to adjust worldwide, right? I think even this show, we've had some amazing guests that are not within our backyard, right?
Yes.
They're across the United States. You also have individuals, like there's a lot of people from California that are moving to Texas, to Atlanta, to Florida, just because of the cost of living. What I'm saying this for is because it's made it a little bit easier to interview those people that are still there. They don't have to fly, and you can kind of still consider them, and they're in a different state. So I think it's also, in my opinion, made things a little bit better. You can touch and really meet with people now through a video that would have to fly in before. You already know. So for business, I think this is done wonders for a lot of businesses. So now let me go back to your hiring status, right? So I want you to talk about some of the obstacles that you have faced while hiring, even in the last, 3 months, 6 months, and even to a year. It's been tough. And maybe some people are like, hey, I'm okay not working, right?
Yes.
So what have been some of the obstacles that you and your team has faced?
Madi, I think that's a really great point. I know that in most cases, we always try to have a very positive outlook on most things, right? I think COVID should have, at the very least, taught us to be appreciative, appreciative of opportunities, appreciative of the ability to just get up and go to work, right? But unfortunately, we do have instances where some individuals, they might not want to return to work as fast as others. So for us, we're really trying to find ways to really incentivize individuals who have been able to take advantage of unemployment, individuals who have been able to take advantage of an adjusted schedule or adjusted work environment. Perfect example. Some people didn't have to go remote. Some people were still able to work in offices. Some people had to go home. So there are some individuals who just have a preference to work at home versus in an office. And for D. Miller, we really thrive on that person-to-person interaction. We love being able to look to your right and to your left, and you see your coworker. So we've had some struggles with that. I think one of the main things that I think we struggle with is just people feeling like they have the opportunity. And I think if you really take a step back and ask yourself, what made you apply for your position? What really made you take that leap of faith? Like myself, I'm originally from North Carolina. I moved here 3 years ago. And so some people would have said, hey, that's crazy. I'm not driving 1,200 miles to take a chance on something I can't guarantee. But I feel like joining D. Miller was the best decision I made. And it was all because of that leap of faith. And so I know some people, and just in the conversations I have in the interviews, they're just like, I never thought you guys were going to call me because I've never worked at a law firm before. And I was like, not true. I mean, if you have the skill set, my manager always says, we're looking for the will. If you have the capability to tell yourself, come hell or high water, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. We will do it with you. And so I think that's pretty much the number one objection I run into. Most people are just, I don't feel like I'm qualified enough. And I'm like, hey, that's a feeling across the board. And sometimes you have to look yourself in the face and say, I am enough. I can do this. And D. Miller is there to help you.
And we want to talk a little bit more about that here in a little bit. But before we do, I know you just mentioned, do you have the will, right? Mm-hmm. So I want you guys to take a look at the journey of a young lady that did have that will, right? Who was hired right before the pandemic. I'm talking about like literally fresh, 2 weeks. Bam, pandemic. Like, oh my gosh, this is happening. Do I still have my job? Mm-hmm. You know, so let's take a look at this young lady's journey and how her will has came a reality. And she's still with us today. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Randy. I am a case manager and I have been with the firm for 1 year and 4 months.
Randy, tell us about your thoughts when you were referred for one of the top law firms in Houston, Texas.
So I came in and my nerves were everywhere. I mean, this is my first time in this position as a case manager and I was a little unsure of things, but I came in with kind of an open mind and going to, take on something new.
Explain to us your first day with D. Miller & Associates, PLLC.
My first day here, it was a little hectic. I was a little intimidated by the attorney because I know she's been doing this for years and it was my first day and I was just kind of everywhere. Didn't know a lot about the legal world and I just kind of came in with an open mind and just ready to go.
So talk to us about the energy that you felt when you walked through these companies' doors.
I was a little shaken, but I was ready to start something new. I mean, the environment here, like everyone's real welcoming, said, hey, you'll do a good job. I wasn't sure at that time because, it's me coming from a totally different environment and then coming straight into the law firm where everyone is kind of working at a fast pace and I just kind of had to jump in there.
Tell us about the culture referencing the people and the workload.
So walking into this environment with the workload that we have it was really fast paced, working with the attorney and, outside of that, because it was just me and her at that time, everyone was really welcoming and they really, welcomed me into like their law firm family and I really just wanted to be a part of that.
Tell us about your experience you had prior to coming to the firm and how did you learn the legal world?
So before coming to D. Miller, I was actually working at a warehouse and I got referred by someone and, I was a little nervous coming into an environment like this. It's kind of out of my element. So I just kind of took a leap of faith and went in with an open mind and, kind of ready to go.
After your first week, how did you know that this company was one you believe in and knew it was going to be long-term?
So coming in, I was unsure about, how the legal system works and things like that, but I knew helping others, with their cases and their families and things like that, I know I wanted to, stay with the company long term because, it's nothing like helping someone get through a traumatic, situation.
Now, things were very different last year. Talk to us about how you adjusted to work remotely.
So when I first started, I was here for just about 2 weeks. And then right after that, COVID hit and, we were sent home. That very next day, I had to get a laptop and, just kind of jump in from there. Working with Just Rochelle, we had to, keep the ball rolling even with the pandemic and still help our clientele that we have. And so, we just kept moving even with the pandemic, kind of holding us back. But we still thrived. We still made sure that we were able to provide for the clientele that we have. It kind of shook my household as well with my significant other, losing his job and things like that. But I still, made sure that we sustained, and working remote, helped me tremendously.
The pandemic brought a lot of uncertainty. Watching other companies furlough and even family members and friends being impacted. However, this company was thriving and growing. How did you feel during this time?
I was a little uncertain. A lot of things were happening and everything was just moving fast paced. But I just kind of took everything in and tried to, still have the same momentum that the company's having. Even though I'm working from home, just, had to keep the ball rolling.
So tell us about what you do to ensure your teammates feel welcomed in an environment that is very high paced.
So for us, we over communicate. I know we're all still working from home and, we still have to keep the ball rolling even, with us not actually being in the office. And so just kind of keep an upbeat, conversation, make sure that we're all doing good outside of, just us working all day, see how everyone's doing emotionally. Because I know sometimes with these particular cases that we have, they're a little tough to talk about. So just kind of getting that breather and talking to each other just about, day in and day out things that we do, just kind of keeps us level-headed at times.
For someone that is out there that is in need of a job, but is unsure about our company, what advice would you give them?
Well, I came in with no experience, and I've learned to just kind of take that leap of faith and just jump into it. You don't know how things are going to go until you actually just do it. And so for me, I didn't know exactly how I was going to do or how long I was going to do it or how far I was going to go. But for me, I just kind of went in there with an open mind and just went for it.
Wow, so that was Randy. Randy is a case manager on our opioids and Boy Scout and sexual abuse side who has to work directly with the attorney. And as you guys heard it, she didn't have any experience in the legal world, which is crazy. It kind of goes a little bit about what you were saying, Lorne, that you didn't have experience. And even those that are interviewing don't have to have experience. So this is a live and an action example that you guys saw from an employee that is still here. Her journey has been beautiful too. And I think she's been with the company roundabout almost, a year, Lorne, would you say?
Correct.
Yeah.
I believe so.
Yeah. So it's crazy. Randy was a reflection right before the pandemic, like I stated, on being hired. So I will ask you, Lorne, during the pandemic, if you remember, just if you remember, because I know it's like a blur for us. I keep saying last year, and I'm like, wait a minute, last year was erased. And I'm really 2019, but when I say last year, people are like, you did that last year? I'm like, no, I'm going crazy. Anyways, but, during the pandemic, how many did you hire in total that you can remember?
So if I had to just give you like a ballpark figure, Madi, because we actually increased our employee staff, which again, we know is very hard for a lot of companies. Again, I think we're very blessed and fortunate because I would say anywhere from 60 to 75 employees came on board with us during the pandemic. And again, that's just a ballpark figure. But again, our firm was able to increases caseload as far as clients coming on board, expand, again, really enhance our brand. And I think that's just a blessing in itself because so many companies had to really pick and choose who were we going to furlough, who were we going to keep, what type of movements did we have to make. So again, I think we just really take some time and just are so appreciative of that.
Yeah, look, I think that's a blessing. You just said you guys hired additionally about 60 to 75, around that ballpark. That's crazy.
Correct.
That is a growth spur during the pandemic, which some people had to cut back, had to remove, had to get rid of. Like, if that's not a blessing, I don't know what is. So I think this is very informative for those of you guys that are watching, that it's a company that's thriving and growing. I think that's super great. We do have a comment here. This is from Renee. Renee saying, thank you for encouraging everyone.
Good.
Yes, that's exactly what we here is to encourage. And, if you don't give it a try, you'll never know. You never know what door you're knocking on and who's going to actually open the door. That's some word of advice for you guys. So look, a lot of people that are watching may be in need of a job, but again, here's where we go, that are intimidated for multiple reasons, right? Oh my gosh, it's a law firm. Oh my gosh, it's one of the top law firms in Houston.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I don't have experience. So I will ask you, the question is that needed to apply? But look, you said you didn't have it. Randy just told us.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about that, on what the experience is needed to just get into the door to this law firm.
First and foremost, a hard worker. I think out of all the things that we look for, because again, we are fast paced and we are growing and looking to evolve, we're just looking for candidates that are willing to really put the, pedal to the metal, really put the hand to the plow and really work with us. I think that was the value that stuck out to me the most. Yes, we're looking for great communicators. Yes, we're looking for individuals who have, a diversified skill set. All of those things really, really stick with us. But hardworking, I think even from the very top of our company, all the way down to, again, anybody you can see just walking around in the office, everyone here is a hard worker. So again, if you have the will, if you have the desire, and you have, really the tenacity to really just say, hey, any challenge that comes up against me, I'm willing to take it head on. I think first and foremost, D. Miller is probably going to be the best bet for you.
Look, and I can go off of experience here. You can always teach someone a little bit about your department, a little bit about the culture, a little bit about the company, right? But to teach someone to work hard, to work with a sense of urgency, to have that passion, in my opinion, that's very hard to teach.
Yes.
So I love that you kind of said one of the qualities that you guys look at is the how hard someone works, and someone putting their experience on paper and showing like they work hard. So now I want to kind of turn it over, Lorne, a little bit about the culture and the law firm dynamic. I know that's big. So someone right now is like, cool, where do I sign up?
Okay.
Before they do that, let's talk a little bit about our culture here at D. Miller & Associates and what the law firm dynamic is like. Is it what they see on the TV?
I would say, again, I think we have an amazing website, right? If you go to dmillerlaw.com and you check out our site, Marty has it, stuff flying across the screen. We got flashing lights. And I think that is also a part of who we are. Presentation is very important to us, right? However, I think when you walk through the doors of D. Miller, there's a sense of warmth. There's a sense of hospitality. We have receptionists that sit at our front desk, 3 lovely ladies upstairs, 2 lovely ladies downstairs, and it smiles from ear to ear every time you walk in. We laugh, we play, we have celebrations. I think that was the thing, Marty, that really caught me off guard because, again, when you watch TV shows, right? Reality TV show, you see judges on TV, so everybody's thinking, oh, well, this is how D. Miller & Associates must be because they're like this on TV. Not at all. So for me, I think it's like we really have to be, we have to be mindful that people are human. We're regular people. We enjoy enjoying ourselves. We love spending time with each other, learning about our teammates because we're essentially a family. When you work 8, 9, hours a day with each other, you become a family. And so for us, we really take pride in that. It's just not, again, this place you walk in and it's like, oh, can I sit here? Am I allowed to sit here? No, come in and have a seat in our lobby. Our front desk receptionist will welcome you. We ask you, do you need anything? Do you want to go to the restroom? Again, I think it's a very welcoming experience. And I think that just speaks volumes of our culture. And again, what we value, because it's really not about prom or circumstance or, who are you that knows you? It's really about welcome to the family. Welcome to D. Miller. We're glad that you came by. How can we help?
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, I agree with you, right? A law firm dynamic gives you a very traditional, stuffy vibe, right?
Right.
It is what it is. We know, we take no offense to it.
Correct.
But even if you guys go to our social media, if you go to our website, you see that we're all about you guys getting to know us, our attorneys, for the people that they are. And we work with some amazing people, like we really do, that are just so welcoming. So I love that you kind of just put that in a nutshell. We work hard, we play hard,
Yes.
but we get down to business at the end of the day during the hours. So, at the time of the interview, that those that are watching right now, if someone applies for a position, but you, Lorne, or even your team feel maybe suited for something different or may exceed their, experience in another position, what recommendations do you give to those people that are applying for a position but may qualify for a different one?
I think that's what actually sets D. Miller apart from many other companies that I've worked with. I think most companies, when you go through the recruitment process, you apply for a role. If you're not a good fit for that, your resume usually goes to the we're not going to give you a callback pile. And as being a person who's been in that pile, it sucks. It does not feel good to know that you've invested time in your craft, you've got a degree in some cases, you've gotten certifications, and because you didn't click apply for the right job, you lost an opportunity. D. Miller's not like that. So the way me and my team work is we fully assess the resume, and then we also fully assess you throughout your phone interview and your virtual and in-person interviews. Our goal is to not disqualify anybody. Our goal is to look at a candidate that comes to us as a complete package. And by a complete package, we mean, again, are you a hard worker? Does that translate in your interviews? Are you able to really show us what you were able to do while on these jobs? And if so, can we translate that into an open position that we have? So no, I would never discourage anyone for applying for a position with us, because that might just be the little crack in the door that you need to get in and walk straight through. But again, it all starts with just taking that first step. Even if you don't even feel like, oh man, they only have this position available, or I don't know if I quite fit all the requirements, that's fine. Where there's a will, there's a way. So we definitely fully assess our candidates, because we want to make sure that we're not missing anything. If we feel like it's a good fit, we will definitely take the chance with it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And look, I want you to tell us a little bit about your story. What did you get hired on as, and what was your journey been like in the last year, I think, right? Okay. I kind of want you to tell those that are watching, what you got hired as and how you what your journey was here at D. Miller and Associates.
So when I got hired, again, I came on in the middle of the pandemic, and my responsibility was to be the administrative assistant to our personal injury department manager. I did not apply for that. That is not what I applied for. I got a chance to interview with my manager, and she said, "Do you trust me?" And I'm like, I don't know this lady from a can of paint, but I know that I moved to Houston, Texas with a dream in my heart and faith in my hand. So I said, you know what? I'm game, let's go. And so I actually applied for a customer service position, and she said, I think you will be a much better fit for this. And I said, okay, let's run with it. So again, we fully evaluate and assess all of our candidates. She ran down the list. Can you do this? What is your background in this? How do you feel about doing this? And I remember, Madi, the funniest thing to me was, she said, Lauren, do you feel comfortable using Microsoft Excel and Excel spreadsheets? And I was like, yeah, I feel comfortable. And she was like, because most people tell me that, and then you get in Excel. And I said, no. It's not going to be a problem. So again, I started out under our personal injury department manager. working shoulder to shoulder with her and the rest of her team on really reevaluating, developing, and kind of bringing some more structure to the process and procedure that she had already innovated. And I think that was the even better part for me, Madi, because I got to be paired with an amazing manager. And I tell people all the time, it starts at the top. You know, if your leadership sets the tone and really pours into the people, trust me, it will come out in your clients, it will come out in your production, it will come out in all the places it's supposed to. So shout out to Betsy. I appreciate her so much, but she gave me the opportunity to really learn the legal process under her, really work with her team, come up with innovative ideas. And then we all came together and really brainstormed this new vision that she wanted to really launch her department with. And so again, time kept going, and I was given an opportunity to facilitate some different projects, we'll say projects. And so after working with my manager, you know, I kind of said, I have an idea. I would like to really present it to you guys. And so she said, okay, go ahead, what you got? So I did what I needed to do, and an opportunity opened up for me in our human resources department. And so again, I think part of the steps that I always recommend people take, I took them myself. So if I'm going to tell someone, if you see a crack in the door, walk through it, I had to walk through my own crack in the door first. And so again, it's what it's all about. It's all about taking the chances, taking the opportunity. And Madi, I know I've shared this a lot, but I think a lot of people probably miss it sometimes. The owner gave me the empowerment to really feel like I could take on whatever mission I wanted under the umbrella of D. Miller and Associates and be successful at it. And I know working for major corporations, sometimes we end up being just another number. You know, sometimes you end up just being another employee, but when you really have that intimacy within a firm to where you feel individually empowered, it changes a person completely. And I know that D. Miller and Associates gave me that chance and really gave me the empowerment I needed to go through whatever journey I wanted to take with the firm.
Wow, that's beautiful. And I think, look, that's it speaks highly for those that are watching too, that it's encouraging, it's empowering. We definitely want you to feel that. We want you to think that, hey, I'm going to knock on the door. We want you to knock on that door, right? Because you just never know what's going to be on the other side. And much like yourself, I have a similar story. I went to Texas State University, got my accounting degree. I started with the law firm about almost, not yet, a shy like 3 months, but I'm almost 7 years with the company. I started with the accounting department. And as I was there, my personality is more marketing. People are like, you're an accountant? I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Okay. I love numbers. I'm a numbers nerd. So, I started in the accounting department, and then there was an opportunity to jump into the marketing department, which there actually at that time was no department. It was literally me just, let's figure it out. Let's figure it out in regards to making a mark, a procedure, right? So I just began branding with the best way that I know how, which is with the blessing I got, which is my mouth.
Right.
Talking to people, getting the brand out there, all that good stuff. And then it flourished. It flourished to then me being a network marketer into an actual department. I brought in another young lady named Giselle, and then, it grew and it grew. And now I'm very blessed to say I'm the marketing director, which, like you said earlier, at this company, it's like sky's the limit.
Yes.
Sky's the limit if that's what you want it to be. If not, you kind of stop yourself. If you don't want to work harder, that's fine. That's kind of where it is. There's a door or the wall, but you can break through barriers, break through walls. Yes. Here, you can set it apart. So like yourself, I applied for accounting. I did that for 2 years, switched over, and, I call myself a unicorn. I do a lot more stuff, but those are the only things that we're going to talk about, right?
Right.
So yeah, that happens actually pretty often in this company. A lot of people have a niche somewhere, or you really get to see them fly, and you're like, ooh. Right? We do that all the time.
Yes,
so I actually want to take you down a journey of another similar employee that had the same thing. And her journey was literally all over the place, like this, right? So I I want you guys to take a look at her journey and hear her out and hear the golden nuggets that she's able to give you guys. So let's take a look.
I'm Jenny. I am a general team lead in the personal injury department. I've been here at the firm for at least 4 years.
So Jenny, tell us about your thoughts when you were referred for one of the top law firms in Houston, Texas.
I was kind of nervous because I've never had any experience in regards to personal injury, nor knew anything about what law had to do. I was just a regular sales rep at a mall, and I just kind of put my mindset in regards to, I can accomplish anything I put myself to. So I went in with an open mind and went in to kill it, and here we are.
So explain to us your first day with D. Miller & Associates, PLLC.
My first day was really hectic, really scary. I had different emotions since when you hear a law firm or personal injury law firm, your first thought is like, whoa, what are we dealing with? I was a receptionist, so I came in, they welcomed me. The receptionists are super, super friendly. As soon as I stepped in, they knew I was here to pretty much, take over the phones. I got an overall training by one of the receptionist team lead at that time to go over the training and what to do and what to look for. I felt really comfortable after going over whatever the training was at that time. So once I started actually taking over the phones, I felt like I was at home. I felt as soon as I called, the case managers, they would answer super friendly. I was kind of nervous because I kind of thought lawyers were scary, but they were super friendly and just ready to answer the phone and help me to help them.
So elaborate a little bit more about the energy that you felt when you walked through this company's doors.
As soon as you step off the elevators, you have the receptionist just welcoming you and with a huge smile, even though, let's just say, I think it was raining that day if I'm correct. And I was kind of nervous because my shirt was kind of wet, but they were super happy in regards to the weather. So even as soon as coming in with the weather, it didn't affect them. So I just felt like I was at home, like it was a family, even with just the smiles and the way that they welcome you.
Tell us about the culture referencing the people and the workload.
The workload is manageable, but it is also something that you will learn in time how to manage. At first, it seems very stressful because you're dealing with people's personal cases, they're dealing with actual injuries, and it seems like a lot because we are a high volume law firm. But once you have someone there to pretty much walk you through the whole step and how to work your cases and how to manage them, you feel very comfortable. You feel like you can manage it. You even ask for more. Trust me, I'm out here asking for more work than I already have.
In the time you've been with the company, explain how much you've grown.
I feel like the firm in general has helped me become myself. I in general felt like I was a shy, timid person, and I didn't really have self-confidence. As soon as I started working with a couple of the team leads and actual managers and Darren Miller himself, they were able to teach me to actually trust myself and believe in myself and have confidence. I could tell you before I would never be able to be in front of many people and talk and present and go over pretty much cases, and now I'm jumping up and wanting to go up there and present and go over these cases. I never used to be able to do that, and I feel with D. Miller & Associates they've been able to give me that.
Was there an opportunity or position that was given to you that was different from your initial hired position?
I have been with the firm, I think this year will make 4 years. I started as a receptionist for at least 3 months. There was an open position to assist the manager, operations manager, Marcella, as her assistant, and I jumped right to it because I'm someone who honestly, I like to learn new things and kind of continue moving up. From there, I was given an opportunity to work in the reduction department and underneath the negotiations, which I was kind of nervous at first because I have no clue what personal injury or any reductions had to do. Once I started working there for quite half a year, they moved me over to the investigation department, where I had no clue what investigation had to do with, personal injury. I was able to be a case manager for at least a year. I then became a SME, which is a assistant to the team lead in the investigation department. I was able to help the department in general, train new people coming in. I was also from there. I got promoted to become the team lead over the investigation department. From there, I also got another promotion to become a general team lead, which is I'm over the investigation department and also over the release department, where I send out letters to providers, to clients in regards to letting them know that unfortunately we're not assisting them. And then now I'm still here trying to continue to grow, take over the firm.
Tell us about your experience you've had prior to this company, and how did you learn the legal world?
I had no experience with personal injury. I had experience with selling cell phones. I was kind of nervous because I was like, wow, my worlds are too different. As soon as I started working at Miller & Associates, it was crazy how they were so open to letting you know their world and teaching you, and just not just teaching it, but wanting you to continue learning more and be able to know the world, so you're not only able to understand it, but also explain it to our clients.
After your first week, how did you know that this company was one you believe in and you knew it was going to be long-term?
As soon as I started listening to some calls that clients would call in regards to some accidents that they had, and I would have to transfer that call over to an attorney or a case manager. As soon as I called them, the urgency that they had to answer the phone and, oh yes, it's this person, it just showed to me that this is not just a regular law firm. It's somewhere where it's more than that. It's a family, and they care about their clients, and I felt like I want to be somewhere where it's just more than a job. It's more like the family. They care about the clients, not just in general.
So tell us about your colleagues and how they mentor to mold you into the business person you are today.
I have so many times where I doubt myself and I don't believe in myself, and I feel like I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what I'm doing. But with the leaders that we have, I have a lot of team leads and Darren himself who call me and talk to me and ask me as soon as they go over something, do you understand? Do we need to go over it again? I don't have many people who can sit there and really sit there and want to teach me, want to know something. And in general, I feel like they care about your learning, about what you know, and about how you feel in your work environment. There's times whenever I feel overwhelmed, but our team lead surprises with small gestures, little fun events that just make work want to be here. So
now things were very different last year. There came a lot of uncertainty. Watching other companies furlough and even family members and friends being furloughed, how did that impact your vision, seeing that the company you work for was thriving and growing?
I was really nervous about the situation in general because I had a lot of friends that were calling me and crying to me, letting me know, hey, they laid me off, or hey, they're shutting down. I don't know how I'm going to be able to provide. I was waiting to hear what the plan was for our firm, and it was crazy to hear how we had an executed plan. We knew exactly what we were doing. We were still working from home. We were hiring so many people. I was shook because when you hear that compared to people being laid off, I felt comfortable. And not only that, we started having so many people join in, and just the experience of having them join in and being part of that is amazing.
Tell us about what you do to ensure your teammates feel welcomed in an environment that is very high-paced.
So due to COVID happening, a lot of us work from home. So we were like, how can we make this experience welcoming? How can we make them feel at home? How can we make them feel like this is a family? You're not by yourself. You're not on the other side of the screen by yourself. So I am part of a program that we call Meet the Team. So as soon as we have a new hire, what we do, we go over personal injury in general, just kind of give them a little grasp in regards to what is, a personal injury law firm, what are they coming into, how we work a little bit different than other law firms. From there, we also have where we have other team members join in and greet them and meet them, give them words of advice, explain to them what they do, so they're familiar not only with, in general, the departments, but with the faces, put names to faces. And it's really amazing how people afterwards thank me and say, hey, I really felt like this is a huge family. I feel like you guys are like someone who are welcoming. You guys want us to come in and want us to learn.
For someone that is out there that is in need of a job, but is unsure about our company, what advice would you give them?
I would say, don't question yourself just because you have no experience in personal injury. We are someone who we will mold you, we will help you learn in regards to what personal injury is, and help you have also confidence in yourself, because you're stepping out of your comfort zone and stepping into a different world you didn't think you were capable of.
Wow, so that's another one. The journey was crazy.
Yes.
And you've met Jenny several times, and you probably even experienced her going from a transition, right?
Yes. Yes, I have.
Yeah, so that is awesome. I'm very glad that there are a bunch of individuals in the firm that have their journey that's, all over the place. So I do have a couple of comments before we get into why we're here. So I have Sharon saying, congratulations on an excellent interview, Lorne. I know mommy is proud. I listened as much as I could in between calls. I have Kim saying, what a great conversation. Awesome. And then I have Nikki saying, great advice. What an opportunity.
Awesome.
Super agree to all of what they're saying. So now, look, we're here for one reason. And that's, for the idea that you came up with, you offering a solution for those that are like, you too can have a job with us, right?
Yes,
so tell us a little bit more about that idea that you and your team kind of came up with to offer to our viewers that are watching now.
Awesome. So we will have a job fair coming up in August. We are looking to really provide that in-your-face opportunity because, again, Texas is slowly but surely, making some footsteps towards opening completely up. And so we are giving everyone that other opportunity to come in and meet our human resources department staff members, really interview face-to-face, learn our culture, really get an understanding for how the life of a D. Miller and Associates employee would be. So we ask everyone, if you're still looking, if you're knocking on doors and nobody is answering, if you submitted your resume to hundreds and thousands of places, like I know most of us have been, come and see us. Again, don't wait. Just go ahead and come and see us, because we know that sometimes some people just feel a lot better about their interview when they meet the person they're actually interviewing with. I know myself, again, having gone through recruitment processes and interviewing with managers, sometimes I just kind of walked away like, man, that probably would have been a completely different interview if I had met them in person. If they had really got to meet me face to face, really experience my presence, really feel how passionate I am about my job. And so we want to give that same opportunity to everyone in the area. So again, we are taking individuals from the Houston metropolitan area. Don't think you're too far. Don't think that you don't have the skills. Just really come in and see us and have a conversation with us.
I love it. And for those of them that are watching right now that are like, sign me up, what do they have to bring? How do they have to dress? All that good stuff. I think this is very important because a lot of people are like just trying to run and come over, but there's still a couple more things that we probably want them to bring, right?
Correct. So like Marty was saying, run over here, but make sure you bring your resume, right? I definitely want to sit down and talk to as many people as I can. Bring your resume, come dressed to impress. That was one of the main things I was taught coming up. Dress for the position that you see yourself in. So if you want to wear a suit and tie, by all means. I know it's a little hot in Texas, so I'm going to tell you, be cautious, when you get dressed, but come and see us. We definitely want to see you with your resumes. We want to see you if you have a cover letter available. Any letter recommendations, any references. We love all of that type of information because it really helps us learn who we're interviewing. what type of candidates are we thinking about bringing on board? So all of those documents, just bring them with you. And again, bring the smiles. We love smiley faces. We love them.
Yes, awesome. And there may be also, not maybe, there will be interviews on the spot, right?
Yes, correct.
So be ready, get your game face on, have your apple, your bagel, and your coffee, all of that, because that energy is required to bring into the door, right? So you are able, and you feel your best. I think feeling your best, looking your best, also allows you to perform your best, right? Which is selling basically yourself. So for those that are watching, Lorne, tell us what positions exactly are you hiring for?
So with most individuals, we're not just hiring for attorneys. I think people would say, oh, it's a law firm. They got to be hiring for just attorneys. No, we have positions that run the gamut. So again, receptionist, again, if you're data entry, intake specialist, anything that you think would have placement, a case manager. Also, we have an intake center. So again, any call center representatives, any individuals who have that experience where you're dealing in customer service and sales, come and see us. There's a place for just about everybody. And I say that literally, there's a place for so many people. So definitely come and see us.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think whatever level that you think that you could bring to the firm, it sounds like, Lorne, your team assesses very well the resumes, the experience, and wherever the member, the candidate can be placed is where you guys do. And I think that's beautiful. Again, not every company does that. Some do. Some may not, just like Lorne said, if you don't fulfill that little cookie cutter position, on to the next, right? We at least allow you to knock on the door and see what other doors open up for you. So I think that's great. Now, for those that are watching right now, what advice would you give for someone that is thinking about attending before they attend?
Well, the first advice I'm going to say is attend. Make sure you attend. And then the next thing I could just tell you guys is to just be courageous. Again, if you were given the opportunity to make it through COVID, again, we saw the data, we saw the statistics, we saw the numbers. Surely if you were given an opportunity to continue to be on this earth, that means your purpose hasn't been fulfilled yet. And hopefully your purpose is with D. Miller and Associates. So come by and see us. Bring that courage, again, bring that passion, and then come prepared to interview. Be ready to have a conversation. Don't be afraid. We all talk to people on a regular basis. It'll be a regular conversation like me and Madi right now. And again, just do it. The only thing that you can really miss out on is an opportunity. And sometimes just taking that step will get you in the door.
Yes, I think that was well said. For those of you guys that are watching and you're thinking like, I don't know, maybe they don't have that little ounce of doubt, just give it a try. Just knocking on the door is what could get you that opportunity. So Lorne, I want to thank you so much for being a part of the show. I really want to thank you for giving the insight that you did on the workforce, on hiring, and just what we've experienced in the last year, opportunities, obstacles, all that good stuff. I think it's awesome that you were able to kind of put it into perspective for us. And we get to really take a look back. Or if you have family members or friends that are in need of a job, recommend them to us. It's going to be all over our social media. So make sure you go follow our Facebook, but we will also have it on our other social media channels as well. There's going to be an event created. So there is no excuse for you to say, but I don't know where, what time, and the address. Stay till the end of the show, because at the end of the show will be all of that information. If you miss it during the show, it will be at the end. Screenshot it with your phone, take a picture of it so you have it at your fingertips. So thank you, Lorne, again for attending today's show. We greatly appreciate having you on our show today.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. So for those of you guys that are watching, we want to thank you for tuning in to Talk to Me Tuesday. Better yet, for sharing it for all of those who are watching out there, because we can help someone that is in need of a job as well. So we want to thank you for tuning in to Talk Tuesday on a Tuesday with your host, Madi B. So thank you guys for waiting. It's the moment that you guys all been waiting for, which is heroic behavior end of the month giveaway. It's super easy. If you guys are asking right now, what do I have to do? It's super easy. You have to just do 4 little things. Go like our page right now. Go like it, hit that little thumbs up. Also, the picture that is on the screen, make sure you like that picture. Another important thing to do, share it on your timeline and also tag someone that you think could be a winner of this gift. So this month, the month of June, we're actually giving a pair of Adidas shoes. Oh my gosh, it's up to a certain price range. I think this is awesome. And look, we're getting you guys ready for back to school. Back to school ready with some new kicks. Why not, right? Why not put those 3 stripes across your feet and get you a new kicks of some Adidas shoes? So I think you guys have waited long enough. I know I've made you wait, 60 minutes? Who am I? So without further ado, let's take a look at who the winner is.
Every month, all you gotta do is like, share, and tag. Hey guys! Every month, we do something called heroic behavior.
Congratulations, Michelle Kerner. Yay! We're so excited for you to have a pair of Adidas shoes, whether it's for you, your family members, or even your kiddos, whoever you want to gift them to, you are the proud winner. So make sure you look at your direct message to claim your prize. Now, if you guys are watching the show right now and saying, I never win, don't worry. We do this every month. So all you have to do is tune in on July the 1st to see what the giveaway for July is. But remember, all you have to do is those 4 little things and use 1 little finger. And it's absolutely free. So there's no excuse. So we hope to see you guys next month and hopefully you too can be a winner. Till next time.